Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, so I see that you need help with this series of problems, and it says fuel economy. The EPA publishes fuel economy values that are known to be good estimates of the fuel economy a typical driver will achieve under average driving conditions. One of the fuel economy values the EPA publishes is a combined estimate which represents a combination of city driving 55% and highway driving 45%. A large rental company has 13 Ford Explorers in their fleet. Their collection of fuel economy data from these cars and calculated a sample mean to be 24.16 miles per gallon and a sample standard deviation of 0.82 miles per gallon. The car rental company is willing to assume that the conditions are met for constructing a confidence interval. Use the collected data to construct a 99% confidence interval for the mean combined fuel economy for Ford Explorers. So we know that the average is 24.16, and we know that the sample size is 13, and the sample standard deviation is 0.82. And we just have to calculate our t-score. So you're going to take 1 minus 0.99, which is 0.01, and then 1 minus 0.01 divided by 2, and that's 0.995. So then you have your t-score, looking at your t-value, with a degree of freedom of 12, and that's going to be 3.05. So then you're going to take 24.16 plus or minus 3.05 times your standard deviation of 0.82 over the square root of 13. So then you have 24.16 plus or minus 0.69. And so your confidence interval is going to be between 23.47 to 24.85. If the car rental company wants to estimate the mean combined fuel economy at a 99% confidence interval with a margin of error of no more than 0.25, how large would the sample need to be? So then that's equals 3.05 times your standard deviation was 0.82 over the square root of n. So you have 0.25 divided by 3.05, and so that's 0.082 equals 0.82 over the square root of n. So 0.82 divided by 0.082, and that is the square root of n equals 10. So then if you square both sides, n equals 100. Then it says a competing car rental company decides to construct a 90% confidence interval for the mean combined fuel economy of the Chevy Equinox using 24 cars in their fleet sample. They obtain an interval of, and so it gives the interval right here, assume that the conditions have been met for constructing this interval and indicate whether each of the statements below is or is not appropriate interpretation of this confidence interval. We can be 90% confident that the Chevy Equinox have a combined fuel economy. So this is not appropriate. We can be 90% confident that the true mean combined fuel economy for the Chevy Equinox is between. So this is appropriate. If the company were able to obtain 100 samples of the 24 Chevy Equinoxes and use the samples to construct a 90% confidence interval, we would expect approximately 90 of those to include the true mean of the combined, so that would be appropriate. So I hope that this video helps. This is a middle school math teacher signing